Golden State, Golden State, Golden State, Golden State. Ain't no way y'all get Steph back after missing 11 games, struggling, going 6-5, keeping the team barely afloat to be in the playoff or play-in hunt, and y'all come back and lose to the Phoenix Suns with no Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, or Cam Johnson. Just wow. But hey, man, regardless, at the end of the day, we're still going to take a look at Steph's hidden highlights from last night against the Phoenix Suns return game. See how he plays. See the little hidden highlights of stuff you ain't see in the regular highlights you probably already watched. And so before we get started, make sure you subscribe, like, turn on those notifications. Hidden highlight video dropping daily. Make sure you follow me on Twitch as well. Live stream coming soon. And let's get straight to it.
The ball is not in his hands.
Like I was saying before, he missed 11 games. You probably already know that too, but 6-8, but he was 6-5 in the 11 games they missed. That's enough to keep the team afloat. A little above 500. Above 500. Put yourself in good position for Steph to get back and be able to do a little something. But this loss, this hurt, because you know you should have got this win. You know you should have got this win. Early shot taken up. It was kind of a quick win. A little late in the shot clock, but that first shot you get back, once you get back on that court, you just got to shoot one of them just to remember how it feels like to shoot in the game. Just so you can kind of get your rhythm back a little bit. At this point, Steph's like 1 for 3. Takes another one. Boom, knocked down. Hey, and I seen this dude in my comments who said, Steph isn't that good. All he can do is run around screens and shoot. Do you realize Steph is one of the best finishers in the NBA? Steph is one of the best, the most skilled finishers in the NBA. If you take away everybody's athleticism and put them on an even playing field, Steph has one of the best, like in terms of skill and finishing around the rim, Steph got it. And his handle, you can say Steph doesn't have a good handle either. That's just crazy to me. That's crazy to me. As I speak on his handle, he gets ripped. But now, it don't matter though. Biyombo smoked the rebound. But the thing with the crossovers, when you got a player playing you full court in a press or up tight, I don't like to go to the crossover, because if you don't get the crossover right quick enough and have the important keys as you do the crossover, it's gonna get ripped right here. And now when you do these crossovers, there's 3 keys to it. The crossover has to be low, it has to be wide, and it has to be quick. It has to be low so then it's harder for them to reach it, or harder for them to steal it. It has to be wide so then once you get it in your pocket, it's harder for them to try to reach that, do that little 2K steal like he does right here. And it has to be quick. All of that just so you don't get it ripped and so you can be able to get downhill. But Steph is kind of a little bit slow. Okogie sits on it, gets that hand low. You're going to see a lot of players put that hand low right there. That's why you got to have that low crossover, and it has to be quick. So by the time they try to reach for it, they hit arm, it's a foul. Has Steph at a diving board right there. That was a charge on Okogie. But notice how even though Steph got fooled on this pump fake, how he played the proper position. He recovered off of it as best as he can. Plugs this lane, forces the kick out. Okogie not much of a shooter. He shouldn't have went for that pump fake. But even though he did go for it, he makes the best out of it. Instead of letting him blow by, he rides him on the side, rides him all the way to the help. Pause. And great job by Lamb actually coming all the way over and not getting caught in the circle. That's great help. Then Wiggins over here too was going to recover for Lamb. Great team defense. Swing that one more. Hey man, if you see your teammate open, don't ask for the ball. If you don't have the ball, your teammate got it, like in a situation like this, don't be selfish and tell himself to give you the ball and you want to shoot. Tell him to pass it to the open person. It's called being unselfish. That's why Clay and Steph thrive so much, because they both want each other to be able to score a lot, shoot a lot, and get all these shots up. And so when they don't even put themselves like essentially first when it comes to making plays, that's how you have an unselfish team and have a system like Golden State.
Especially when you say Andrew Wiggins and Steph Curry have played significant.
Damn, another reason why this game was so tough for Golden State is because they don't have their top players. And so what does that do to any game plan that they've made for Phoenix Suns in the past? You got to scratch it. You scratch it. All the sets they run for the pick and rolls with Chris Paul and Devin Booker and the ISOs, you got to scratch all that stuff and make a brand new game plan. And since you have a whole bunch of role players coming together to play a game against you, you don't know who's going to be the standout player. You know Mikal Bridges is the best player here, but who's going to be the standout player? You don't know that. So how are you supposed to game plan? How are you supposed to know what new sets they're going to run and a matchup against a bunch of guys who you don't know who's going to do what? And so you saw a lot of guys do things you don't normally see out of them when they have a healthy squad, like Torrey Craig. You see him dribble drives, all this other stuff, but they're NBA players at the end of the day, and there's a lot they know how to do.
Okay, so they get a lot of their points off of that. That's why they're so tough to guard, and got one right there.
Hey, I know you peeped it too. You must have peeped it too. How Steph missed that first cut. He had his head down. He wasn't looking. He ain't realized that if he just stopped right here, caught the ball, it would have been an easy layup. And that layup could translate into a lot more buckets because now you just see the ball go through, get a little rhythm. It doesn't feel like you got a lid on the basket. But Steph doesn't peep. Draymond fires it. Last second, he turns his head. It's too late to be able to go up. Sees both Craig and Sarge come over. Dimes Wiggins. Makes something out of nothing. Even though he missed it before, he still makes something out of it.
Suns have lost 6 in a row. 9 of
It's like losing a box of gold, and then going and find another box of gold. Hey, like I told you, bro. You know Sarge could shoot, but it's like, how much are you gonna like game plan exactly for all of these guys? You've never really seen them be in their element. Who are you gonna take away? So like, it's gonna be tough.
Steph was on the top side of him, but he understood what he could do. Got it out for an open.
Steph came back, got that one right back.
Top side of him, but he understood what he could do. Got it out.
Peep the footwork though. Peep the footwork. Something I see a lot of guys do is go into the workout to only work on shooting 1-2, catching 1-2, or being standstill 1-2. But you gotta have a lot of footworks in your shooting bag if you want to actually be a good shooter and be able to knock down shots in any sort of situation. So it doesn't matter if it's left right, right left, or hop going right, hop going left, backpedaling, turning. It's a whole bunch of footwork that you got to be able to do, and not only just do it, but do it at a high clip or a good clip. Next defensive possession down. Damn. 2 things, man. When you're losing games, you can't trade buckets. You cannot afford to trade buckets. That's the worst thing you can do. Trade buckets, because now you're just treading water. You're getting nowhere with what you're doing. So on defense, say you get a bucket on offense, you come back on defense, your discipline has to be even sharper, because you don't even want them to be able to get to the free throw line, because those are easier buckets. And 2, notice how Steph loses sight of his defender. Oh, he trips too. Peep the trip though. Boom, he trips, looks at Sarge, just gets out of position. He should have stayed attached to Mikal in the way he was moving. Instead of rising high, trying to play this up, drop back with it, square yourself so you can be able to drop back and see both, and then come out straight and make that closeout.
in the 25-minute range. Bridges from the corner. On 3rd on Clay, 14 foul. Ball fake by Craig. Craig to the rim. Follow.
Hey, like I was saying, bro, you're going to see players like Craig, Torrey Craig, or whoever going to be doing stuff you don't usually see, because now there's more opportunities to do it, but you're not going to commit yourself to stopping one thing because you're like, okay, he can't really do this. I don't think he can do this. But at the end of the day, they're NBA players, and there's a lot of things they can do well.
And able to capitalize.
102-86 Suns. Curry drive and do.
It's the footwork. It's the footwork. It's the footwork. Notice how once he catches the ball, he's moving with the ball. He drops that left foot back to the top, and notice how Lee reacts to this. He jumps out left thinking he's going to use this screen. So not only is it Steph's footwork that sells it, but it's Draymond just being in position to use a set, and then Steph having good footwork to be able to reject that, hit this gap, and finish at the rim.
And there was no hesitation, Carl.
None whatsoever.
Made the decision right away. Curry.
And at this point, they was down by 26. That was the biggest lead they had. So winding down the last few minutes of the game, they was just hoisting, just shooting everything, hoping they could be able to catch some fire, and they did.
95. Washington's got 21. Curry finds his
Back-to-back threes from Steph. Steph at this point, he just said, "F it, F it. I'm gonna keep shooting. Forget it. If I miss, I miss. If we lose, we lose. But at least I know we tried."
He's fouled.
Let me run that back right quick though.
Bridges have been talking back and forth. Lamb to Curry. He's fouled.
That's what I like to see. Maturity out of these young guys. Maturity out of these young guys, man.
Have been talking
Look,
back and forth.
Anthony Lamb is butt naked open. Wide open. But instead of taking this shot that he could knock it down, he knows that Steph got it going. And that since Steph is hot, and if he goes into this handoff, Steph comes off this handoff, there's going to be nobody to cover him on the other side of the handoff. So instead of him taking that shot, he gives it to Steph, lets him take that shot.
Lamb to Curry. He's fouled.
Craig has nothing to do except for foul.
Here's Curry. Makes his move around Bridges. Floats it up and in.
Who could only shoot? Not Steph. Not Steph. People getting it twisted. They think because he's the greatest shooter of all time, there's nothing else in this game that he could do. You got it twisted. Crossover. Now he does that kind of same crossover he did the Kogi before, but notice how the space is different, and how there's even a screen at this point, so Mikal doesn't only have to think about the move that Steph is doing.
Makes his move around Bridges. Floats it.
Then hits him with the finger roll. The finger roll is something rare that we see nowadays. You don't see nobody finger roll like these nowadays. You see no finger rolls nowadays. But Steph is one of the few guys who actually can keep it alive.
Kogi puts it on the deck. Dishes. Saric. Swing.
Down the stretch right here, bro.
Can't hit the three. Bridges.
This was hurting.
Rebound. He goes back.
I'm not a Golden State fan, and all these offensive rebounds and not being able to close out these stops hurt me, bro. I was like, damn. Because I was like, ain't no way they're really about to lose to Phoenix without 4. On top of that, they don't even got campaign. Without 5 of their top, six players?
And scored. Bridges gets the step on Thompson. Craig. Spin. Banker. No. Rebound kept alive. Shot.
Damn, bro. Box out, bro. This is why you just can't be watching the glass, man. Watch Wiggins and watch Draymond.
Craig. Spin.
Watch Wiggins and watch Draymond. I said the same thing in the video I did on Kyrie when I said with talking about how Kyrie's an underrated defender. He needs to prove his ability to defend off the ball. And you're going to see players do this a lot of times. They're going to turn around, watch and walk back. And that's how players like Steph are able to get loose off these offensive rebounds. And on top of that, since you're already walking back, you ain't boxing nobody out. Who you boxing out? Casper? Ain't boxing nobody out. Now, Saric just runs in there, Draymond. Draymond's supposed to be one of the best defenders in the world.
Rebound kept alive.
But he let this offensive rebound go. And I know it's just a regular season game. Boom. I know he's going to tighten up on it.
Kisses it
He's
off
going to
with the
tighten
glass.
up on it.
Phoenix relentless. Curry.
Yeah, and at this point, I was like, it's just GG's. It's GG's, my boy. It's just GG's. I seen this air ball, 2 minutes left. They got even closer. But I still knew it was GG's because ain't no way. They couldn't get no stops.
Against Lee. Drive.
They couldn't really get stops. They got stops to get back in range of striking. But they would have to strike once again with more stops. And I was just like, I don't know if they'll be able to do that.
Curry another. That won't go.
And then they was just hoisting shots. They was hoping for it. But let me know if this is a foul.
Another.
By Draymond.
That won't go. And a foul.
Like what? Like let's really look at this one more time. Let's really look at this one more time.
Another. That won't go.
He's moving, but so is buddy right here. I think this is Reinhart or whatever his name is. But he's moving too, and he bumps into his teammate. He goes out of bounds, and at this point, the ref's just like, I can't just let him fall out of bounds, and calls a foul on Draymond. Draymond ain't do nothing.
And a foul. 32.5 on the clock.
And I ain't gonna lie, I would have been talking up a storm too, Draymond. I would have been talking up a damn storm because being down goddamn 26 to the Phoenix Suns without 5 of the 6 best players, and then coming back and game ending and y'all already losing, I would have been talking up a storm too. But that's Steph's return. Steph's return. Hopefully the Warriors can be able to get back on track, start playing like the Warriors play, and actually be able to make a run in the playoffs, which they definitely could have the talent to do so, the system to do so. But will they be able to get the pieces together in time when it really matters? So, but we'll see though. That's the end of this video. Hidden highlights dropping daily, so make sure that you subscribe, like, notifications turned on, maybe even double uploads. Who knows? Maybe even double uploads, but that's the end of this vid, and we out of here.